Hello guys, it's me Zain, and guess what we're talking about today? This big guy here. Now I'm sure that you're familiar with the Christmas cactus because it's a pretty popular plant and you can basically find it in every second household if there is a person who likes plants. This guy is rather on the popular end of the popularity contest of the plants. That's why there's a lot of searches in Google and YouTube and in other search engines about the Christmas cactus and the holiday cactus and the Thanksgiving cactus and the Easter cactus. And let me tell you, all these plants and all these care tips and all these whatevers, this is a hot mess. Here I am, your one and only savior, to tell you about the Christmas cactus, the differences and everything. Finally, my soul was strong enough to research everything what is about all these plants, and also I have experience with them because I already repotted them, saved them, rebloomed them, as you can see. Let's use a typical YouTube phrase and let's dive into this topic. So if you're new to this channel, well, consider the option of subscribing to my channel and also consider the option of following me on Instagram, since there you can find pictures about this Christmas cactus and also pictures about basically everything else. After I made my saving a Christmas cactus and repotting video, which by the way you can watch by clicking on the info card in the corner, or also you can find the links down in the description box. Well, back then I was a Christmas cactus noob and I didn't know shit about them. Right now I'm a Christmas cactus genius, which is a really big exaggeration, but whatever. Today we're gonna look at it, make an update since it was like highly requested how my Christmas cactus is doing after the repot. Well, it's blooming, it's beautiful. And also I'm gonna share with you a few care tips and a few things that I experienced. If you want to watch my face and if you want to hear me blabbing about plants, where you're in luck. About the temperatures, we have to know that if they feel good, we feel good. If we feel good, they feel good. Basically, they need room temperatures because they come from coastal areas of Brazil or whatever. And also you have to keep in mind that if you have winters which are harsh, these are not hardy plants. They cannot stay outside in the frosts and snow because they are like me. They hate snow and they will die if they touch snow. So yeah, that's one common thing with me and this Christmas cactus. It's most probably a house plant for most of the people because they love room temperatures, but also here we go with the blooming stuff and reblooming. Wow! So if you want to rebloom it, it will need a cooler winter rest. This guy is like the orchids. It's an epiphyte, which is a very special category. Epiphytes are living attached to trees, tree trunks or rocks or whatever it is, and basically the roots are exposed to a lot of air and air movement, so that means that they will like a lot of air. They don't suck out energy from the plant which they are attached to because they are not parasites, they're epiphytes. Oh shit, it still haunts my memory. Once I had a fight about plants being epiphytes. The local florist said orchids are basically parasitic, and I was like, what? No. You have to keep in mind a simple rule. You have to water, and after the watering you have to allow the soil to dry out completely, and after it you can water it again. If you start to calculate in your mind that there can be different humidities, there can be different climates, environments, there can be different pot sizes, there can be different soil types, so if you calculate everything, you will most probably say, oh shit, I don't know when to water, and that's right, I cannot tell you when to water. Basically, if you keep your Christmas cactus inside, it's safe to water like weekly or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. It will depend highly on your environment. But also you can experiment with that. If you like to water your plants like every second day or whatever, you can just experiment with the soil and make it more free draining so you can water it more. Basically, you can do whatever you want to do, and that's the beauty of the Christmas cactus. But it has a growing season, it has a winter rest season. Naturally, in the growing season, the temperatures are warmer and the plant is using up more energy for growing. You need to water a little bit more, and in the cool season, when the evaporative things are not happening that much and also the plant is just preparing for blooming and it's not actively growing, it will need less water. So yeah, you have to keep that in mind. Now with the watering, we can mention the fertilizer as well. In the growing season, it will eat more food. In the cool down resty season, it will eat less food. So basically you can fertilize it throughout the summer when it's growing, and you basically can stop fertilizing when it's winter time and when it's resting and preparing to bloom. Now, what about the sunshine and the light? Well, I can tell you he likes sunshine, but not too much. So if you keep it in a very bright location, he will enjoy that. But if you keep it in a shadowy place where there is not enough light, he will say, it's more shadow here. Well, whatever, I will grow here anyways. So if you keep it in lower light, still it will do just fine. But if you keep it in less light, this is what's gonna happen. On my plant, there are not like too much blooms. There are some blooms here and there, it's still pretty, for me at least. But if you keep it in lower light, that will mean that it won't produce as many blooms as it is capable of producing if you keep it in a really bright light. But if you give it too much light, basically you can burn it. If we want to mention the soil, now we have to go back to this epiphytic part of its existence, and what that means that where it's growing, basically it's growing on those areas of these rocks and tree trunks and whatever's where is debris collected. That is like the perfect soil for them, and that's why if we need a soil which has larger chunks of things like bark chips or bigger pieces of perlite or even coarse sand, because these pieces will help a lot for the water to actually run through the pot. So if you're a person who likes to mix the soil for themselves, you just have to mix it and see how free draining that soil is. No wet feed for this guy. That's just a no-no, because if it's constantly wet for a longer period, that will mean rot, and we don't want to run it out. But the humidity, I have a few thoughts, because some people say, oh, it needs higher humidity and stuff. Well, I've never had problems with the humidity, even if it was summer and it was like really dry. No problems for this guy. So I don't think the humidity will do too much if it's too high or too low or whatever, because I've never experienced anything going wrong with this guy. Also, some sources say you can actually raise the humidity if you put a tray below the actual pot and you fill it up with pebbles and then you fill it up with water. The water tension will be broken up by these pebbles and thus evaporation happens. Well, I can tell you that evaporation won't help with the humidity at all, because just imagine making a high humidity room with one single tray. That is stupid. If there is a draft, it will just carry away that humidity before reaching the plant leaves or whatever. And also just imagine me putting a tray here and filling it up with water. How will be the humidity like higher here? Stupid. So if you are using these humidity trays like all over the place in your room, you have basically 1,000 humidity trays placed all over the place, like on the top of your head even. In that case, you can raise the humidity. I would say that basically you can forget about the humidity, because I have never experienced anything going wrong, but that might not be the case in your different climate and different environment. For me, it's not a problem. So yeah, good for me, right? What a tip. Now let's talk about the important stuff. The reblooming, oh my god, look at these flowers, they are so cute. They are cute like me, but that's not true. Wow. Shit. So if you want to rebloom it after the growing season, which is a little bit warmer and a little bit more wet, you have to winter rest it, which means some sources say that it's kind of a dormancy, but I think dormancy is something else. So I won't call it dormancy, I refuse this idea. So winter resting is basically providing cooler temperatures and more shade. Some sources even dare to say that you have to put it in complete darkness, but oh my god, how stupid is that? I mean, do these plants experience complete darkness for weeks in nature? Who thought about this idea? I mean, I want to know the originator and punch him or her in the face. So if you provide cooler temperatures and less sunshine, because the natural cycling and whatever in the nature actually makes less sunshine happen in nature, in that case the plant will be like, oh shit, I need to winter rest and prepare my buds for a beautifully fabulous blooming time. Basically with the temperatures you can go down to like 12 degrees Celsius. Well, in some houses you don't even have to do anything because as winter is coming you will have shorter days and longer nights, and that will do the trick. If you really feel the urge that you need to provide more shade to your plant, well, go ahead, do it. Let's show it in the cupboard or whatever. I just completely rely on the natural changes in the day length, and that's all. And here we go, reblooming. There was a bigger load of comments in my previous video about my Christmas cactus that, holy shit, you should prune it and you can actually propagate it. Well, yes, that's true. You can actually prune it, or you can actually call it propagating after the blooming is done. You just have to twist one leaf or more leaves, and you can leave them to dry out because you don't want to have open wounds on your propagated little sections. And basically if you put that back into the soil, they will root down and make a new plant, and bang, you pruned your plant, and also you have more plants right now. So everything is happy, everything is fine. And if you are pruning your plant, you will basically not ensure but encourage a little bit more branching on your plant. There were a little bit angry comments that, oh my god, you should have pruned your plant. What did you do, Zane? Well, guess what? In the end, it's just a personal preference. I prefer to leave this plant as it is because I have one single plant. I like how it is right now. I like these pendant leaves going down. If you want to have a bushier plant, which is more bushier above the actual pot, you can actually take these cuttings, put them back into the plant, and have a bushier plant with a lot of leaves sticking out there like an ugly hairdo. Actually, some sources say that it likes to be pot bound, so you don't even have to repot it too often. They can survive basically a lot of stuff because they are easy plants. Also, we can talk about some diseases and bad things happening and disasters happening. If you overwater it, you can cause root rot, or even you can cause the rot of these branches here. Also, if you cause root rot by overwatering, the plant might suffer from dehydration. Also, you can have some pests on your plant like mealybugs and whatever, but if you use some pesticides or these natural DIY-ish, not too harmful pesticides, you can get rid of them. What is this huge whole mess about Christmas cactus, Thanksgiving cactus, holiday cactus, Easter cactus even? Well, let me tell you. Well, holiday cactus can mean either the Thanksgiving cactus and the Christmas cactus. The holiday cactus are the Schlumbergera plants. Pronouncing the Schlumbergera is funny AF. There is the Truncata group and there is the Buckley or whatever group. The Truncata group contains those hybrids which have a lot of Truncata DNA in them, and the Buckley variety contains a lot of DNA from another species. Christmas cactus, as you can see, has these more soft edges. There are like no spiky parts, and the Thanksgiving cactus will have these spiky parts. If you look at these leaves, you can see these spiky parts there. These are not spines, this is just the leaf shape, but both of them are Schlumbergera species. And the Easter cactus, on the other hand, is a completely different species, even though it looks exactly the same as these plants. It's from the Rhipsalidopsis, but the care is basically the same for all of these. Now let's just mention a little updatey thingy for this Christmas cactus. So we repotted this together, we saved it together because it was basically repotted in concrete and it was bad AF. Like you can see, I rebloomed it. It's not like a whole lot of flowers because it's rather in a darker, shadier place, but I'm okay with that. I have priority plants which will enjoy the sunshine more because I'm a bad grower. So yeah, it's doing fine, it's hydrated, and I like it because it's huge and it's like a pendant plant. So yeah, so this is my video for today, my update slash care tip tutorial whatever video for the Christmas cactus, Thanksgiving cactus, holiday cactus, Easter cactus. Well, I hope the hybridizers will actually make hybrids for all of the holidays all around the year, July 4th cactus or things like that. That will be fun. So this is my video for today and I hope you liked it. If you liked it, click on the like button. If you disliked it, click on the dislike button, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, don't forget to subscribe to my other channel, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Also, don't forget to hit on the bell button so you will get notifications every time I post. And yeah, that was my video for today, and see you next time. Bye guys. Cheers. Oh, something happened. There is a cactus piece on me. Where is it? Where is it? Oh shit, it's here. Oh, it's a bud blast. Oh, I wanted to mention, if you have your Christmas cactus in a bud and you will play around with the environment, you will make drastic changes or drafts around the plant, that will cause bud blast. So basically you will cause the plant not to have these sexual organs. See you next time.